What's up, guys? So a lot of you seem to like my last Magic video, and I got a lot of requests to play more Magic Arena, so that's what we're doing today. Today we're playing Constructed. I've got a few decks that I want to show you guys, and we'll hopefully get at least one or two good games with each of them. We're starting out with the most try-hard deck I have. This is a green aggro deck, purest beatdown. We're relying on cards like Pelt Collector, which gets stronger when you play creatures that are stronger than him. Paradise Druid, which gives you mana to help ramp up. Wildboard Preserver, who also gets stronger when you play other creatures. Lovestruck Beast, big body. Yorvo gets stronger when you play other creatures. Questing Beast, insanely broken creature. So the basic idea is our creatures make our other creatures stronger, and we are going to go at them to the face and destroy their life total very quickly. Some other interesting cards in here. We got Vivian Arcbow Ranger, which can act as kind of removal with its -3 ability. We've got Titanic Brawl, which is another removal piece that is especially good with all these creatures that get counters like Pelt Collector and Yorvo. And then to finish things off, we've got a couple copies of Feasting Troll King, just an amazing finisher. He's got Trample, so he can get through the blockers and damage the face. And Voracious Hydra, who can act as removal because it can fight another creature when it enters the battlefield, or it can just be like a 10/10 Trampler. Especially combined with Nissa, who makes your forest tap for double green. Pretty good. So let's jump right in and play this deck and see how we do in ranked. Alright, game one. This is a pretty good curve, I would say. We can play Heart's Desire on turn one, the adventure half, go into Paradise Druid, and then get things going with the ramp. So I think this is a pretty good keep. Get our 1/1 out there. If this 1/1 dies, it's not the end of the world, because we could just not play the beast, because we have another turn 3 play. Okay, so he played a tap land. Let us swing in, and then play our druid, try to ramp up. Best top deck right now would definitely be Questing Beast. Turn 3 Questing Beast is absolutely broken. Oh, but Shifting Ceratops is really good too. So the question here is, we could swing for 3 and then play Yorvo. Or we could swing for 1 and play the Ceratops. I think maybe it's better to leave the Ceratops in our hand so we can get value by giving him haste. So I think we're going to do the first thing I said. I'd rather play Yorvo before I play the Beast, because Yorvo will get buffed for every creature I play. So let's go ahead and swing in. We are opening up our Druid to removal. It loses hexproof when it's tapped, but I don't think that that's the end of the world because we have 4 mana next turn, and not very many things in our deck cost more than 4, so even if this dies, it's not that bad, plus that's removal that won't be used on Yorvo. So I think Yorvo is a very good card. It gets out of control really fast. Its only real downside is no trample, so it can be chumped by 1/1s, but it's just a 3-mana 4/4 is strong right off the bat, and then one that threatens to get stronger every turn is pretty insane. So we could play Ceratops, give it haste. That seems good to me. Or we could double spell Bark Troll, Lovestruck. Bark Troll and Lovestruck opens us up a lot to board sweepers. So I don't really love doing that. What would blue-black run as a board sweeper? Find Finality? Okay, so if we do that, he gets 2, so it'll be 6, 7. Whereas if we do this, he gets 1, it'll be 10, 11. That's way more. So I'm just going to do the more damaging option here. Killing Yorvo. No big deal. Yes, I will happily take a free land from Assassin's Trophy. Which, this means that if we really wanted to, we could play the Troll. But I think I'll keep Paradise Druid untapped so it retains haste. Or retains hexproof. Give this guy haste. Don't activate the ability. Go to combat. I mean, maybe we just attack out with this, actually. Yeah, who cares about hexproof? More damage, better. So you can see what this deck's trying to do. We are going to the face, guys. Okay, Risen Reef, a little bit late. At this point, we've already gone off. Unfortunately, He does have a chump blocker, but maybe with trample it's not going to matter. Let's see. This gets through 4 with trample. So I feel like 6 is kind of our cap here. So I don't really want to swing with the druid. Give him that good trade. I think we'll probably just do Yorvo Lovestruck. I think I'll go ahead and swing with the 1/1 because he's not going to make that trade. I mean, he probably wouldn't make this trade either, to be honest. I'm just going to attack all. 5, 6, 7, 8. It's not lethal. Yeah, I'm just going to do it. I mean, any of these trades are bad for him. Because he's not going to be able to get, you know, extra ramp mana out. So I don't think he's going to do any of these blocks. And then if he blocks the 1/1, we'll just ignore Lovestruck Beast and play the Troll instead. Alright, he's taking out the mana producer. Not a big deal. Who needs it? Okay, so Find Finality. Actually, does that do 4 to everything, or does it do 5? I don't remember. But he didn't have it. So I assume he's just dead. I can't imagine anyway. Yeah, we got him. Guys, how quick was that? You see what this deck's all about? We go face, boys. We ramp out the creatures and go face. Let's play one more with this deck, because I know that one was really fast. I want you to show you guys that that wasn't just a fluke. Okay, so this curve is kind of bad, I think. No 2-drop. I think we should throw this back. Like, yeah, we can play this turn 1, but no 2-drop. Get that out of here. This is a little awkward, too. We have the Troll on turn 2. And probably turn 3 Yorbo. Probably not going to want Nissa. I think if we keep this, we'll probably throw back Nissa. The 3-mana Nissa is, like, okay because it helps you find cards and it gives your creatures flash, but I don't know if we really want that in this scenario. I think we're going to keep... I know it seems silly to throw back Nissa when we have 2 Yorbos and he's legendary, so we can only have 1 on the battlefield, but one of them will probably eat removal. I don't know, maybe that's wrong. And the other thing is, like, Yorbo is really good with Titanic Brawl. I think we're going to chuck Nissa. Ginger Brute. This must be, Calamity or whatever. What's that card called? Cavalcade of Calamity. Whenever they attack with a 1-attack creature, Cavalcade of Calamity deals 1 damage to my face. Wow. Oh my... Oh, never mind. I was like, did he really keep a 1-lander and now he's going to get mega punished? But looks like he did not. Okay, so we drew a 3rd land on turn 1, so we should be ramping up quite nicely. And we have the opportunity for Titanic Brawl next turn if we need it. Oh yeah, we're going to do that. So Titanic Brawl... Oh, no attacks. That's good news too. It's a 2-mana fight spell. Fight meaning the creatures deal damage to each other. But if it targets a creature with a +1/+1 counter on it, it only costs 1 green. Like 1 mana. Not 1 and a green, but 1 green. So this is really good with our deck since most of our creatures involve +1/+1 counters to some extent. So the question is, do we attack? I think I attack first. Wait, no. Actually, I'm going to play the second Troll. This probably, like, attacking first probably would have been fine, but I'll play the second Troll. And I'll target him. We got to take the Spitfire out. That's probably the most important creature in that deck. It gets absolutely out of control with Cavalcade, and now we can attack. Looking good. If we top deck a land, we pretty much win. Questing Beast can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less, which turns out his deck is mostly that. If we don't draw land, we'll just play Yorvo. Still pretty good. Yeah, I think Questing Beast, some people say this is like one of the best cards in the set. Some people say this card's overrated. It seems really strong to me. It's just, you know, it's a wall of keywords, but they're good keywords, man. Vigilance, Death Touch, Haste. Those are 3 good keywords. And the fact that if it deals damage to their face, it also deals that damage to a Planeswalker. Really good in a Planeswalker-oriented meta, which I would say we're in right now. I think we're going to double attack, to be honest. Like, we're winning this race. And then we got Big Boy Yorvo as a blocker here. If he plays Cavalcade, we are going to be taking a lot of damage, but he has to be really careful or he just dies. Okay, Chandra. Get some 1/1s, I assume.
Say hi to my fiery friends.
So which one is the most valuable? I'm thinking this... Oh, he didn't attack with the Spitter. Okay, then the... Oh, can't block him. Okay. He didn't attack with any of his good stuff, basically. Which, to me, I don't know. I feel like that might be too conservative of a play. Like, he's not going to outvalue me. Okay, so slightly awkward. Don't want to play second Yorvo, obviously, and sack my first one. I think... Are we safe to ignore Chandra? Let's think about what happens if he plays Cavalcade. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So he has 13 with Cavalcade, plus the risk of, like, shock. But we do have the Preserver as a flash blocker. So I think no matter what, we're not dead here. I don't see much reason to attack Chandra. Just go face and try to win that way. That is, of course, the stated goal of the deck. And we forced out a Chumper, which is good. So, Wildborn Preserver is another card that I think is pretty broken. Flash, Reach. Whenever another non-human enters the battlefield under your control, pay X. When you do, put X counters on the Preserver. So, Yorvo, you might think he's a human, but he's not. He's a giant. So that doesn't count. But just generally, why I think this card is so good, it turns your cheap creatures, your Barkhide Trolls, your Pelt Collectors, your, you know, elves that give you mana, it turns those creatures into massive threats. Because all of a sudden, you play those and you turn this into like a 5/5 or whatever with your leftover mana. So this basically means that late game, top decking a cheap creature is not bad for me. Which is pretty broken in a deck that runs a lot of cheap creatures. Like, usually top decking a 1-drop on turn 5 is like a death sentence. Well, it's not a death sentence, but it's not what you like to see. But with this guy out, it doesn't matter. So we will eat the Spitter here, because he is the biggest threat for the future. And I imagine this guy's probably pretty dead right now. And look at this, dude. Okay, so he... At this point, the Questing Beast is insane. It's gonna buff Yorvo. We can't do that. No mana left for that. Buff Yorvo. Haste. I keep saying Yorvo. Haste. And if this hits the face, it kills Chandra. I mean, this guy is definitely dead, right? The only way I see him surviving here... Yeah, he has to single block everything, actually. He can't let 2 creatures by. He's just dead. So guys, there you go. So yeah, I mean, this isn't normally the style of Magic I like to play. Just curve out with creatures, aim at the face, don't think too hard about it. That's not usually how I like to play. But if you want to get your quests done, if you want to just rank up really quickly, that's a great deck to do it. Alright, so the next deck we're looking at here, this is a sort of blue-black mill/control deck. I got this from Covert Go Blue, hence CGB. He's a YouTuber. Check out his channel if you want to see some good Magic action. He's got a lot of great decks. So this one, we run the Vantress Gargoyle. We're supposed to have 4 copies, but I ran out of rare wild cards, so we only have 3. I replaced the 4th one with a Narset, which is generally just good to have in any blue control deck. So the idea here is we're milling ourselves and we're milling the opponent. By milling the opponent, we give Vantress Gargoyle the ability to attack. He cannot attack unless defending player has 7 or more cards in their graveyard. And you can tap to mill for both players, so that's pretty cool. We have Drown in the Lock, which counters a spell with CMC less than or equal to the number of cards in its controller's graveyard, or destroy a creature with that CMC as well. So this is just a really high value spell, provided your opponent has a lot of cards in their graveyard, and it turns out we have some ways to make that happen. Witch's Vengeance is an interesting one. This card might be worse than Ritual of Soot. I'm not sure. They're both very good. This destroys all creatures with CMC 3 or less. This does -3/-3 of a creature of our choice. So there's some interesting stuff there. Ritual of Soot would kill our own Gargoyle. That's probably the biggest downside of it in this deck. Whereas the Vengeance has the downside of sometimes you can't actually clear the opponent's board with it because they're different creature types. So it's interesting. I could maybe see replacing this with the Ritual or replacing it with Cry of the Carnarium. Cry of the Carnarium, which just does -2/-2 to everything. Obviously, 2 is less than 3, but this has the advantage of only affecting your opponent's creatures as well. Whereas this has the advantage of, you know, not relying on creature types. Anyway, that's a lot of talk about that. Here's Bond of Insight. Each player puts the top 4 of their library into the graveyard. So again, milling ourselves, milling the opponent, getting 2 instants or sorceries back. Usually it's going to be Drown in the Loch, Thought Erasure, maybe Chemisters, maybe another Bond of Insight to go infinite with that. Enter the God Eternals. Again, we can mill our opponent 4 with this, as well as healing and dealing damage and stuff. And then our big finisher here is Lochmere Serpent. So this is just generally a good card, right? It's a lot of value. 6 mana, 7/7 flash that can draw you cards, and it can make itself unblockable. And then it's got this bonus effect that if we self-mill this by using Bond of Insight or the Gargoyle or whatever, if we self-mill this into our graveyard, we can exile 5 from the opponent's graveyard to return it to my hand. So we have to have 5 or more cards in their graveyard to make this work. So it fits into that mill theme. So even though this is kind of a mill theme deck, we're not trying to empty the opponent's library to kill them. We're going to be killing them with creatures, with the Gargoyle, with the Serpent, maybe even with the Rider. But, you know, the mill is going to add a lot of value to our cards. So let's jump in and see how this one does in ranked as well. All right, so how's this hand looking? We can do this tapped into this. Then we have Drown in the Loch, which will not do anything on turn 2. Negate. This is kind of an awkward hand. We don't really have any proactive early plays, so I think we are going to mulligan that. This is much better. We got Thought Erasure. That's all you need. Thought Erasure is an absolutely busted turn 2 play, and we got 2 of them. So let's keep. I think we'll send back a Swamp. Even though keeping a Swamp is tempting to get us closer to God Eternals, we are going to have some surveilling off of Thought Erasure, so if we're really desperate for land draws, we might be able to fix it that way. So that's a go. I think we'll play this tapped. Worth noting, this is an island Swamp, which means this enters the battlefield tapped unless we control an island. This counts as an island, so we can go ahead and do that. Enter tapped, so we don't take the 2 life there. Let's see what this guy's got. So let's see if we get the concede here. A lot of people will just instant concede when you hit them with the turn 2 Thought Erasure. So let's see. Whoa, okay. We are fighting a Elementals deck with Jace. Interesting. Okay, so normally I would get rid of one of his ramp creatures, since that's what he's going to be playing next turn, but he does have 2 of them. So if I get rid of the Druid, he'll just play this Druid, or vice versa. So I don't think that's good. If we get rid of the Reef, that also kind of stops his ramping ability. Or we could just get rid of Omnath, because it's by far the biggest threat in his hand. I don't really care about Jace. Besides, we could negate Jace anyway. It's the only thing in his hand that we can actually get rid of with negate. So I'm thinking Omnath, because he does turn 2 ramp guy, turn 3 Omnath. Let's just get rid of that. I do not want a second God Eternals. I want something I can play a little bit earlier than that. So he's probably going to play the Druid, the Paradise Druid, that is. Would be my assumption. Oh yeah, he needs to play the Paradise Druid because he doesn't have any blue mana. Yeah, he's not going to be able to play Jace, like, ever. His only source of blue mana is this Druid. Alright, that's fine. Okay, Drown in the Loch is good. He only has 1 in his grave, so we're going to need to do more of that before we can kill anything with this. But let's just Thought Erasure. Yeah, I think we got to get rid of the Reef. This draws him cards. It's too good. I'm not really concerned about Jace. Oh, wow. Druid. We could actually use this to kill his druids. I think that might that might be worth it. The druids fix his mana, and they ramp him. Like, I think this is worth it, actually. The worst case here would be if he, like, draws another Reef. That'd be a nightmare. But no, he didn't. Okay. So we can clear the board of all his druids, make him sad, and fill up his graveyard, which is all things that we very much want to do. Druid. So yeah, there's an example of this card being pretty amazing, because Cry of the Carnarium would not have killed the Leafkin. Pretty sick. So he can't play Jace because he only has 1 blue. Does he have anything else that he wants to play? Most creatures he plays at this point we can kill with the lock, so that's good. I don't think we really want to do that with the Leafkin. Instead, we're going to be leaving counters open. So we can counter anything that costs 4 or less now with the lock, or we could counter any non-creature spell with negates. So that's perfectly fine. Unfortunately, this turn we are a little bit short of being able to... Oh my god, that costs 5! CMC less than or equal to cards in his graveyard. Uh-oh, he's got 4 in the graveyard and this costs 5, so that's a no-go. But, you know, if we get something else into his graveyard, we can kill it with Drown in the Lock. Oh, wait, this is gonna mill his own graveyard, actually. Right? Is that how it works? Yeah, okay, so we can actually kill this end of turn with this. But then we have to think about... Okay, so he can put target card from his graveyard on top of his library. He would probably do Omnath, I would imagine. Omnath or Reef. I think it's still very much worth it. Like, it sucks we're not going to have the counter available to kill whatever he puts on top, but I think this is worth it. Or he might put blue mana on top so that he can play Jace, which that would be the dream for us, because then we could just counter Jace. But, okay, he went with the Risen Reef, which I guess he figures will help him draw into the mana. Duress is pretty sick. We can get rid of his Jace. Still a little bit short on lands here. Oh, he's got the Krasis. That's not good. So... top decking a land would maybe salvage this because we could God Eternal something. But we're looking in kind of a tough spot here. Didn't quite get there on mana this game. Okay, he just plays Krasis for 4. Which, I mean, perfect target for God Eternals. Didn't draw it, but I think we probably will murder that, hey? Yeah, I mean... The only downside of murdering this, as far as I can see, is that he could play Risen Reef plus another elemental. Whereas, you know, he could play Risen Reef, then we murder it. Let's just see what happens. This is instant speed, so we're in no hurry here. And he might play Jace or something that we want to attack. The question is, do we take 4 here for the sake of making a more optimal play? I think it's fine. I don't think our life total is that relevant. We need to win on board. So I think it's better that we make an optimal play here. Okay, so there's nothing we can do to stop this first draw. But if he plays another elemental, I'll probably have to Rider the Reef. So that's what we're waiting for. Yeah. We have to. Just to prevent him from drawing a whole bunch of cards. We got there on the mana. So now the question is, do we God Eternals the Krasis or the Reef? I guess it has to be the Reef. Or I mean the Krasis. Because he's going to fly in at us every turn. Which is not good. So, like, filling his graveyard is not good because it gives him more targets for that one dude. You know, that knight guy, the 5-mana knight. So that's not good. 6 in our graveyard, 9 in his graveyard. So maybe we should just mill ourselves. I'm just trying to think if there's any upside to milling him. The only upside I could see is that we could have more stuff to exile. Oh, no. Myself. So I think thinking about it, it's a lot better to do it to myself, because we might put the Lockmere Serpent in our graveyard, which means we can exile 5 from his graveyard, which would be very good, because that prevents him from getting good targets back with that knight. I can't remember what that's called, but you guys know what I'm talking about. There was a whole cycle of them. He played it. It's exiled. Cavalier of Thorns. That's what we're talking about. Okay. So, do we want to leave lock open? I guess we're playing this, right? Let's attack first. Right? Because we don't need a 4/4 up. Play the knight. Our cat's over here meowing. Good kitty. Okay, we'll just wait and see what happens. If he plays an elemental, we can counter it. If he doesn't play anything notable, then we can just kill his reef, end of turn. If he plays a planeswalker or something, we'll negate it. So, this game might be coming around here. But we shall see. He's had quite a lot of gas, but we've had some pretty good stuff as well. Murderous Rider, probably my favorite card of the set. I just love everything this card does. It's obviously absurdly powerful, but I think it's badass. So, okay, what's this CMC right now? 9! Oh no! We can't counter it! Its CMC right now on the stack is 11. Oh, nightmare. If we had milled him with God Eternals, we'd be able to do it. Listen, I still think that it was correct. I still think that it was correct to God Eternals myself, but this is kind of awkward. We can still kill this, but we're just really hoping that he doesn't... Oh, he did. Okay, wait. Is this effect happening either way? I actually don't know how this works. If we destroy this, I know the effect is on the stack, but since there's no creature, this can't resolve, right? Is that how that works? Excellent. Okay, so we avoided it. We're in good shape. In case you guys don't know how that works, so this is X and 2 green. So when this is in your hand or on the board or in your graveyard, the CMC is 2. X counts as 0 in most circumstances. But when it's on the stack, the X actually counts. So if he spends 5 on X, this has a CMC of 7 when it's on the stack. That was really hard for me to understand as a new player. But now that I've been playing for a couple years, I think I get it. Mostly. So nice thing here is we have negate open, and then if he doesn't play anything, we can activate Castle Vantress. Big fan of this card. I was lucky enough to pull 2 copies at my pre-release. Gargoyle. I don't know. I mean, Gargoyle flies over, except this has reach. I think Gargoyle might not be good enough. I think we need more. We need something else. It sucks giving away Gargoyle, because that is one of the best cards in the deck, but we need some way of getting past this thing. Like another Rider, another Drown in the Lock. Okay, so he put a Chandra into the graveyard. Pretty scary. Can't be countered, so worth noting. Alright, Insight's not bad. We'll do it. Maybe we'll draw a land. Oh my god, I couldn't have called that better. I was going to say, maybe we'll draw a land and a Drown in the Lock. And wouldn't you know it, we did. Once again, we have the issue that he can put whatever he wants on top of the library, but I think at this point getting in for the damage is the most important thing. He's probably going to put Chandra on top, I would imagine, or maybe Omnath. Chandra, yeah, that makes sense. So Chandra's not counterable, so It's not a problem that we can't negate it, because it's not counterable anyway. If he blocks the rider with the leaf can, it's not that bad. We get the lifelink anyway. There's not much point leaving the rider up. Alright, there she is. So, he could spend 4 to kill this. Or he could spend 3 to kill this. Or he could just give us a counter. Let's wait and see what he does. I don't believe... Yeah, Lock cannot... it cannot kill Planeswalkers. The only thing we have that can kill Planeswalkers is Murderous Rider. So he did kill the 4/4, which I think is probably the right choice. We're gonna chuck a Duress, I guess? I don't know. Maybe we chuck Negate. We don't need 2 of them. There aren't that many negatable things in his deck at all, so... Play a Backwater, because it has to be tapped. Once again, like, we may as well attack to get the life link. No point leaving him untapped, because it's not like he's ever going to attack with the Reef. No point doing Duress when his hand's empty. I'm just holding on to this in case he gets some, like a Krasis or something that lets him draw a bunch of cards. Then Duress might actually be important. Oh, the 3rd Cavalier. Nightmare. I don't know if we can come back from this, actually. I think just too much of his deck ended up being uncounterable. Like, because his deck is like all creatures. Yeah, I think we're probably gonna lose. What even saves us here? Like, we could get the Lockmere Serpent and make him unblockable to go in. But we only have a few turns to do that before Chandra gets enough counters that she can zap it to death. It's potentially an opportunity to Duress. I mean... Whatever he has is probably instant speed. I'm gonna Duress first, just in case it's a counter. It's a Hydra. Okay, so what helps us here? We could get the Witch's Vengeance to kill these 3, but do we even care about that? I'm wondering if Drown in the Lock is what we want. If only we could get back Murderous Rider, but it does not work like that. It is a creature card. It is not an instant or sorcery. Probably Bond of Insight. I'm thinking about how much mana is up. We can chalk in one more. So I'm thinking we'll do Bond of Insight for next turn, and then we'll do the Witches for this turn, eh? Shock in the Grave. Vengeance to kill his elementals. Pretty nice. Not bad, not bad. I mean, we're probably still going to lose, especially because this thing is going to be plus a million. But we can Bond of Insight back a Drown in the Lock to kill this. He's probably piecing together that is an opportunity for me. Eventually, we got to mill one of our Lockmeres, right? That would be probably the best thing. Alright, this is going to be a million, but it dies to a 2-mana removal spell, so that's pretty good. Take 5. Chandra's the real problem here. Because even if we clear the board, we're still on quite the ticking clock here. We just need some way to kill Chandra. But it really don't be like that sometimes. We need a Drown in the Lock, without question. Maybe we take 2 of them just to kill both creatures, but then he gets to stack the deck, which is bad. Maybe we just do like this, huh? To keep going. But we're just, like, the problem is we're buying ourselves turns, but we're gonna die anyway. I think probably our best option here is double drown in the lock to reduce our timer as much as possible. It really sucks that he gets to put whatever he wants on top, but I think we just can't take 5 a turn or we're dead way too fast. Let's play with the kitty to make ourselves feel a little bit better. I don't know what he'll put on top. Oh, Tameo. Okay. If only we had one more mana, we could counter Tameo. That's pretty bad.
Let's get toasty.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and say that if we don't draw like Murderous Rider or Lockmere Serpent, I think we're gonna concede. I don't see any way to come back. And I don't want this video to be too long.
I have learned much.
You got Jace. He's gonna mill me out.
We can figure a way out of this.
Come on, help me out. Put a Lockmere into my grave. 25 in my deck, only 12 in his deck. He is burning through his deck, but because of Jace, we can't mill him out.
Always an answer.
There he is. There's the Lockmere. Okay. Starting to look more doable. Now we need a way to deal 1 damage. Or a way to buff our Serpent. Is that possible? Okay, so we have to do this on our turn. So we'll get rid of 5 of the biggest threats in here. Get rid of Krasis, Hydra. Nissa? Sure.
The land will not forsake you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So kind of sucks that we can't double up here, but end of turn we'll go ahead and play Lockmere. It has flash, so you can play it end of turn. And then if we can Bond of Insight to get 1 damage, how do we do that? I don't think we have anything that does 1 damage to him. So Bond of Insight is probably not what we're looking for here.
Let me aid your research.
We're shockingly close to winning right now, actually. Literally 1 damage away. Let's just look through this again. Anything that does 1 damage. I really can't think of anything. Maybe he's going to win by milling himself out. Yeah, Murderous Rider can only deal damage to me. It's not like its controller loses 2 HP or something. Vantress Gargoyle. We can't get that back with Bond of Insight anyway because it's not an instant or sorcery. I think we're donezo, boys. Oh, nice. He got the Hydra, so now he can fight the Serpent anyway. Oh, but I guess that doesn't matter. Because this is going to be our last turn anyway. Alright, come on, baby. Wait, is he actually going to mill himself out? There's 4, and then there's 2 more. He needs a way to get the last 2 cards out of his deck. But he doesn't have an elemental, so... Yeah, come on. Play faster. I got a video to make here.
Sweaty.
Come on, my man. I don't think there's anything in the deck that wins for me. I can't think of anything that could possibly like give me a buff or anything. Like a damage buff to the Serpent. I don't think there's anything that quite does it, but we can dig through a lot with the Serpent. See if we can find something. Oh, he gains life. And he milled himself out too. Okay. I didn't think about... Wait, how did he get the Krasis? Did I miss that? How did he get the Krasis in hand? Did he have it the whole time? I missed how he got that. Anyway, we lost to Jace, which I don't think has ever happened. Can we play one more? Can we play one more with this mill deck? I think it can do it. Let's give it a shot. All right, giving this deck another shot here. This looks pretty broken. Turn 1 Duress, turn 2 Thought Erasure. Yeah, I think this is a keep for sure. And we have good mana. Dismal Backwater. Kind of flooding here, but maybe the Surveil will help us with that. Ooh, it's a Gates deck. Well, we're going to get rid of both his circuitous routes, and maybe that'll just end his whole life. We could get rid of Krasis with Thought Erasure, but I think if we can just stop him from getting started with the routes, I think maybe that's the way to go. Play this. This is a tough choice. Agent of Treachery. I think he wants this in his graveyard anyway, right? Or does this deck not run... Does this deck not run Recursion? I figure it probably does. Anyway, so Krasis draws him cards, right? Which is kind of what we're trying to prevent. But Circuitous Route gives him so much mana. I think we have to get rid of the route. It feels kind of stupid. The only other consideration here is that we could draw Negate, which can work on the route and cannot work on the Krasis. But also, we could Bond of Insight to get back Thought Erasure to get rid of the Krasis later if he holds it. So we're going to get rid of both routes. Well, I wish I had done this the other way now. How was I supposed to know? We don't want to get rid of Gates Ablaze. That's pretty pointless. So I'll get rid of Duress. This isn't going to help us with anything. Man, if only I had known. If I had known that that was on top, that decision would have been 100 times easier. But no way to know. Backwater. I'm not thinking that we're going to play Murderous Rider, so I'm fine having an untapped land here. Nice thing is, so he plays Field of the Dead. That AoE removal spell we have, the Witches thing, really good against Field of the Dead. Let's see if he just plays this to draw one. I wouldn't be that surprised. But he did not. So Bond of Insight gets us back Thought Erasure, so I think that's probably worth it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I think we want... Oh, Drown in the Lock's pretty important too. This is tough, actually. Yeah, I mean, Thought Erasure is better for the Krasis, because if we counter the Krasis, it still draws him cards. So I think we want these two. We'll do Drown in the Locks to counter something, and then Thought Erasure to get rid of the Krasis. And he knows that we have these, so this makes it a little bit less good, but this basically means he has to play the Krasis now unless he wants to lose it, which will cause him to only draw one. We don't have the Witches thing in here, right? Yeah, no. If we had that in there, maybe we would draw it. But we have another Bond of Insight to potentially draw that. Yeah, we can only counter things that cost 6 or less, which is not amazing, but maybe with another Bond of Insight. Okay, so he played the Krasis because he knew he had to. Only drew him one, which is great news. There's Witch's Vengeance! Killer top deck. So, what's the play here? I think Thought Erasure has to happen. We could Thought Erasure and then Knight this, if we're willing to shock ourselves too. That sounds decent to me. I think we have to Thought Erasure. This card just gets weaker as the game goes on. Yeah, get out of here, Golos. Swamp might be kind of what we want. Right? We want more mana. Especially with Chemister's Insight in hand. We just need more mana so we can play all these cards. So, okay, the question is, are we going to hold up Drown in the Lock? That's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's not gonna have mana to play Treachery. So the question is, we hold up Drown of... Okay, well, we'll just shock this anyway, so that we can make that decision later. We might end up Murderous Ridering the 3/3, but we'll wait and see. Unfortunately, the Krasis does not share any types with these zombies, so... We're going to want to hold Witch's Vengeance to deal with Field of the Dead zombies, for sure. Tough question. I think we take 3. I don't know. It's possible that I'm making the wrong choices when I do this, but I think it's fine to take 3, just to make sure that we don't have to counter something important. Like, what if he had Circuitous Route or something, it would be way, way more important to counter that. Okay. So... what would we want to get back here? Enter the God Eternals is fine, but it's not exactly getting me that excited. could get back Thought Erasure, but I'm thinking Chemister's Insight is the way to go. That still leaves mana up for Drown in the Loch. I would like to have more information, please. There's a Lochmere. Kind of wishing we had milled that, but, I mean, now he doesn't know we have it, actually, so that's pretty good, too. The big problem with Lochmere is it gets utterly destroyed by Agent of Treachery, but maybe we can prevent him to even getting to that much mana. Is this going to be another... Oh, Guild Summit. I think I'll counter that. Stopping the card draw is pretty huge here. If we can just keep him short on cards and short on lands, can't lose. Alright, there's the Grazer. 6. So if he rips a land off the top, Lochmere Serpent becomes a pretty big liability. I kind of want to play Lochmere Serpent when I have a counter up for the Treachery. So that's our land. Or... maybe we want to get rid of that land to Chemisters. Threaten a counter. But we can only be so passive here, you know? The other choice here is Bond of Insight. Bond of Insight, and then we have 3 mana open. And we would definitely get back a Lock. And maybe a Thought Erasure. Thought Erasure, the Treachery. That seems good to me. But Thought Erasuring the Treachery is not great because we don't really want it in his graveyard. Because he has stuff like Golos to get it back, right? Oh no, it searches the library. Okay. I think I'm like misunderstanding his deck archetype. I don't think he has Reanimation. We'll find out if I'm completely wrong about that, but I'm thinking he doesn't have Reanimation. Which means it's fine to put that in the graveyard. Do we hold the land? I think we play the land, because if we draw another land, we're going to want to use it with Lochmere. The only real benefit of holding the land is that we can get rid of it with Chemisters. Okay, so... he's got how many gates? 1, 2, 3. That's not a gate. He's got 3, so we don't have to worry about... Yeah, I mean, I think we just play the Serpent end of turn. Then we can God Eternals that blocker out of the way. We've got 8 mana, so... let's just end it. And he knows we have this, so he's not going to want to play anything too exciting here. That is not a gate. But we're starting to get the zombies online here. Oh, one on the top. Kind of scary. What could it be that he wants so bad? Okay, so we could sack a swamp right now just to draw a card. But I'm thinking we don't want to do that because we're probably going to have to be sacking islands to get unblockable. So we don't want our land count to get too terrible here. Besides, we got plenty of cards in hand. Okay, so I think we're going to Dismal Backwater. Oh, wait, no. Do we want to do this? I think we're going to have to make this unblockable, so Enter the God Eternals is not that important right now. I think we're going to do this and ditch the Backwater. And just let that decide what we do with the rest of our turns here. So a swamp is actually more important to us than a Backwater, because a swamp can get sacrificed to Serpent. So I think we'll play a swamp. And I think we will sack an island to get 7 through. And maybe we play Rider, but no, we should probably leave 2 up for a counter. Rider doesn't really even do anything, so I think it's better to leave the counter up. How... is that a gate? That's a gate. How many gates are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4. Still can't kill the Serpent with the gates. We should probably Witch's Vengeance next turn just to prevent ourselves from getting too low. Kind of scary. Maybe he kept a gate on top? Do you think he really did that? Yeah, since we have 2 of these, I'm fine with using this. Thank God this isn't a zombie. Worth pointing out, Murderous Rider is a zombie, so that's one downside about this matchup. Is that can sometimes happen. Oh my God, Narset is insane here. Okay. 3, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 mana away from having a really incredible turn, huh? But I'm thinking we should play Narset just to prevent any kind of Hydroid Crisis situation. Let's just play Narset, see what we get.
My drawings, I have just the trick for this.
Great, great card. So if we do this, it's slightly scary because we are not leaving a counter up. So maybe we should do that, but this stops him from hitting Narset, which is actually really important. So in case he has Crisis. So we play this. Zombie. Do we make this unblocked? Okay, he just conceded. Guys, I think that gives you an idea of the deck, okay? The hand disruption, I think, is the most enticing thing about running Dimir right now. Dimir blue-black is the hand disruption. Especially Thought Erasure. That card is insanely broken. That's why we won the game. We got his ability to ramp mana out of his hand, and he couldn't come back from that. So that was sick. But one last thing, we're going to talk about yet another deck here. This is actually a historic deck. So in case you don't know, historic is a new format in Magic Arena that includes cards that have rotated out of Standard. Not all the cards that have rotated out of Standard, because there's a billion of those. It's only the ones that are already in the game. So Dominaria is a set that rotated out. M19, and then I don't know if we have any, but the Ixalan sets. That's what this is from. These have all rotated out of Standard, but they're still in Historic. And Historic is a purely for fun format. You can't even complete quests playing Historic, and also it has no ranking ladder. So this is purely for fun, and we're playing my favorite card pretty much in all of Magic. As soon as this got printed, I knew I had to make a bunch of decks with it. Kykar Wind's Fury. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token. Okay, so this deck is a little bit stupid. We're playing stuff like Opt, Crash Through, Thrill of Possibility. This is going to cycle us through our deck very quickly. And if we have Kykar out when we do that, we're going to be creating creature tokens while we do it. And if we sacrifice a spirit, we add 1 red mana. So that will give us ramp that we can use on stuff like Expansion Explosion, which is a crazy finisher, and double cast. So, and Fight with Fire. If we spend 9 mana on Fight with Fire, we can deal 10 to his face. We can double cast that. So if we get up to 11 mana, we can do 20 in 1 turn. So that's the idea with this deck. So the way Historic works is you have to do regular play. You can't do Standard Ranked. And you pick it. If you just play a Historic deck, you will automatically be matched up against other Historic decks. So Historic and Standard decks cannot fight each other. You can build a Standard deck and label it as Historic, but it would probably be low power level. But anyway, I've played a handful of Historic matches so far, and I found them really fun. Because you can't complete quests, there's not very much pressure. People are kind of playing for fun, so I think it's fine. The question is, do we want to keep this hand? We can do turn 1 Crash Through just to cycle, which will hopefully help us get our land drops. We have some good removal with Fight with Fire. We have the ability to maybe expansion any kind of card draw that he plays. I would prefer to have Kykar in my opening, but I think this might be good enough. Because we have the Crash Through, I'm fine keeping a 2-lander, because this will help us cycle through to what we need. More land, that's good. We're going to shock this, just draw a card. Oh, Flame Sweep, that's pretty good. Especially Expansion Flame Sweep is pretty amazing. Deals 2 to each creature except for ones you control with flying. And spoilers, all of our creatures in this deck, well, we only have one, and all the spirits it creates are flying, so we can't cast spells from graveyards or activate abilities of cards in graveyards. I believe the only thing this stops is Chemister's Insight, so I think we're fine there. So at this point, we have to decide, do we want to hold Crash Through and use it with Kykar? Kind of depends on if we think we can draw another land or not. So this is a mountain plains, so both of these will come in untapped, which is good. We can play this. And then the question is, do we play the Crash Through? Try to draw land. I think we'll be a little bit greedy and we'll save it. And then maybe next turn, if we're looking like a disaster with no lands in hand, then we'll play it. But I would rather save this to combo with Kykar. Okay, that's a good draw. The question is, what do we discard? I'm thinking Crash Through. So we play this. Or maybe we we discard Flame Sweep. It looks like this guy's playing a controlling deck, so who knows if Flame Sweep will ever do anything. We'll just wait and see what he does, and then we can decide. Thrill of Invention! Oh, that's scary. Okay, I think Flame Sweep is not going to do anything for us in this matchup. Alright, there's the lands we were looking for. Fabled Passage, one of the most broken lands, like, ever printed, to be honest. This card is so good. Oh, Outlaw's Merriment! We are in there, boys! This is such a fun card. Every turn, this creates a dinky little creature, so that's fun. Do we think he has removal? I'm willing to risk it for the biscuit that he does not have removal. What color do we need the most? I'm guessing red? We have 2 red, 2 white, 2 blue. Most of our cards are red, so let's take red. And let's YOLO Kykar. If something bad happens to Kykar, this game is probably over. But we might be fine. Fight with Fire Kicked is extremely good against this because it acts as a board clear. Wishing that I kept Flame Sweep at this point, but how was I to know? He got the perfect creature, the only one that can trade with Kykar. Alright, let's start going off here. I think it makes the most sense to do Crash Through first, because that is mana that we can replace by sacking a creature. Actually, it's the opposite of that. It would have been better to not do this first, but whatever. Okay, another shock land. We could do Opt Expansion. Yeah, it was actually, it might end up coming back to bite me, the order we did that. We could do Chemister's Insight, but we have to sack a creature for it to keep 1 blue open for Opt. Let's just Opt first and see what happens. The turns with this deck take a really long time, guys. Expansion Explosion, I think, is definitely worth keeping. This is just a busted card, so I think I will be keeping that. Thank you. Okay, 5 potential mana here. So we can do Chemisters. Let's do Chemisters first, or maybe we just wait. I think I'll play this, shock this, okay, and let's wait because then we'll have blockers. We'll have 1/1s to block his 3/1. Swing in. We have blockers for the 3/1. So that's why I wanted to keep these guys up. Oh no! So we can sack this. I'm going to go full control. And then with that red, we can Wizard's Lightning. Do we want to Wizard's Lightning the 3/1? I feel like no, because we have a good blocker for the 3/1. I'm going to Wizard's Lightning that. Which gets us another spirit. Look at that. Oh, maybe we expansion the lightning? No. I would rather save it. The 3/1 is not that scary. So this guy's gaining a lot of life. Oh god, whenever I sack a creature, he gains one. That didn't occur to me. Whenever a creature dies, oh god. He's gonna be gaining 1,000,000 life. Okay, what you got for me, buddy? Go ahead and swing, I dare you. Haphazard bombardment. Oh no. I mean, okay. He's gonna put one on Kykar, but he has to choose 3 others. So, in case you don't remember this card from Dominaria, every turn it randomly explodes one of the 4. He puts counters on 4 things, so he's put them on Kykar and my lands, and every turn it randomly explodes one. So, oh, we can't win against this. Creatures I control get -1/-1. That means I can't create spirits. Okay, well, we have to sack this. Give him 1,000,000 life. It's like his deck is like tailor-made to kill my deck. What's the deal? Play this. Copy it. No, I'm out! I'm out of timeouts! Autopay! No! You see what I mean about turns with this deck taking forever? Anyway, I don't think we can win at this point. I don't think it's possible for us to win. With everything getting -2/-2, we can't create any mana. Damn. Oh, this guy's deck. We don't have any enchantment removal, of course. Oh no. Okay. How can we possibly win? Is there literally any way? The only way we could win is to get up to 10, or get up to 12, which is not going to happen because we're losing land every turn. Okay, concede. Concede. He got me, okay? Ethereal Absolution completely kills my deck. Oh my god, it was good. I give it a smiley. Let's try again, though. Let's try again. That guy, that guy's deck was... Listen, if everything has -1/-1, I can't ever have a spirit on the board, which means I can't ever generate mana. We gave it a good try, but I think we can do better, guys, okay? Let's try it. Alright, well, this is not a good opening at all. We have Kykar in hand, but the land sucks, man. We have to mulligan. This is 1,000,000 times better. Good mulligan. Good mulligan, guys. What are we ditching? We could ditch Crash Through. We could ditch Chemisters. I kind of like Chemisters, to be honest. We could ditch Wizard's Lightning. I think we'll do that. Uh-oh. Red is scary. Red means he might be aggressive. In which case, it would have been better for me to keep the Wizard's Lightning. Okay, red-black. What are we looking at here? Show me something. Tormenting Voice. And a Lava Coil. You're going to wish you had that Lava Coil against Kykar, let me tell you. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. It seems like this guy has reactive removal, which means it's probably better to hold Kykar to try to do like a big combo turn, like Kykar, opt, Crash Through, that kind of thing. So I think that's what we're going to go for. So we'll play this tapped, and then we'll just wait. No point using my 1-mana spells this turn. They're a lot better when Kykar's out. Just keep passing. Got something for me? Nope. Okay, Thrill of Possibility, I think I would just play right now, right? Let's just do this, or maybe we'll Chemisters end of turn. That's a lot better. Put a stop at the end of his turn so we don't forget to Chemisters. Ill-gotten Inheritance. Okay, so we are on a very, very slow timer. 1 damage a turn, huh? I wonder if this is some kind of sack deck, because this does have sacrifice on it. We'll do this now. Flame Sweep. That's something. Okay, so we are short on lands, which is not great. What can we even do here? Chemisters now to look for land. Thrill of Possibility. Discard Chemisters. I think I'll do that. Show me some land, please. There's land. Wow, we've drawn all of our Chemisters. That's wild. Okay, so we have mana up for Flame Sweep, although I don't think we're going to want to. So this guy doesn't have blue, so we don't have to worry about counters, but we do have to worry about stuff like instant speed, lightning strike, and stuff like that. Our deck is mostly instant speed, but not entirely. Crash Through is not an instant, and there's some other examples. Wow, man, we cannot get a land, huh? Where are they at? Our deck has a lot of land. Okay, there's one. We are going to need to discard down. So I think, like, I would discard... Well, maybe I would discard Chemisters. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, let's discard Chemisters. We could Crash Through to find something better to discard, but Crash Through is just so good with Kykar, because it's just free cycling. Man, 4 Chemisters close to the top of the deck is not great, but I'm thinking next turn we're going to go crazy with Kykar. Especially if he taps out. Uh-oh, he's not tapping out, which is not great. Oh, okay, another Kykar. That solves everything. Okay, so I think we opt first, because we only have 1 blue mana. So we're going to opt first. And if he burns out Kykar, perfectly fine by me. Wow, and he shocked it? Bro, you're going to be sad. You're going to wish you saved those. Definitely want the land. More mana, more better. Alright, little does he know that we have a secret second Kykar. Aha! Do we want to shock this? I think I will. I don't know how much mana we're going to need, but I think I will. Okay, so I think we play Crash Through first because it's sorcery speed, right? That makes sense to me. Oh. Oh, it's just happening. And I think we'll go ahead and sack this to play another Crash Through. Because once again, sorcery speed. Yep. Okay. So we can do opt expansion, or we can keep up expansion for a big expansion explosion play. Which I think that's better, since we only have 1 expansion in hand. I think we'll do that. So I'm thinking EOT, we're going to Insight, discard the Fountain. I think that's my plan. Just stop there. Alright, if Kykar dies, I cry, but we are drawing through a big chunk of our deck. We're almost halfway through the deck, so there's 2 more of these to find. Okay, we knew that would happen. Let's do this now while we can still sack this spirit. Do we? Maybe we discard Flame Sweep. This guy doesn't even have creatures. Discard Flame Sweep. The land is better. Fight with Fire! That is a good draw. That is a good draw. Now we just need double cast. We could Lightning his face. I think I'll go ahead and do that. Or maybe no, we should save that because we can expansion lightning. But then again, it's going to be cheap now because this is a wizard. That's not a wizard. Okay, I'll just do it. Get another spirit. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, my turn. Oh my god! How do we run so good? Alright, we're gonna shock it again, because, I mean, we need the most mana we can get here. Okay, what nonsense are we gonna do? I'm thinking we're gonna expansion and opt. How does that sound? So full control on. Full control just kind of makes expansion work a little bit better. So we're safe to resolve that. Expansion on the opt. We don't want to sack our creatures just yet, because we want to leave them open for a big explosion later. Yep. Yep. Nope, don't need those. That's fine, I guess. Something to discard to chemisters at the very least. Double cast, that's what we're looking for. Perfect. Now we get in for one, which may end up mattering a lot. Okay, let's do some counting here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 with Fight with Fire to deal 10. We need 11 to deal 20. Only kind of issue here is he's probably going to kill Kykar. Okay, he's killing Kykar, so I think we'll go ahead and do this. Yeah, we'll do this because the spirits are worthless without Kykar anyway. Sack you. Sack you. Pay like that. Discard. Wait, actually, we kind of want the mountain, but I guess that's the thing we need the least. So we could double up our chemisters. Is that worth it? I kind of feel like it is. We're so low on cards. I think we'll go ahead and do that. This might be a mistake because... Oh, no, actually... I don't want to do this because we'll just explosion his face, which gets him low and it draws us cards. So that's better. Yeah, I think that's a lot better, actually. Okay, so he's gaining 2, but explosion will get him into, you know, sub-20 range for a while, which is what we need. We do have to be careful because he can deal 4 to us instantly, and he can heal himself for 4 instantly, so we have to pay attention to that. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we can deal 6 with explosion. Let's attack first. Double cast does work with explosion, but we need to save it for Fight with Fire. So I'm thinking we deal 2 to his face right now. And then end of his turn, explosion him for 6. Putting him to 15, putting him to 16, then he can gain 4 with this, and then he dies. Because we deal 20 to his face. I think he's dead unless he has some other kind of healing in hand. I think he's just straight up dead. Cry is fine. Okay, let's not miss this. 6 to your face. I draw 6. Tap everything. Okay. Is he just dead? Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. With a hand this full, it's hard to cast things right. Let's just count one more time. 6, 9, 11. Double cast. Fight with Fire. Make sure we get the Kykar. To your face. 1 target. 10 to the face. 1 target. 10 to the face. I mean, boys. It worked perfectly. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I mean, what else could we want to do here? Okay, I'll just show you this deck list one more time in case you're curious. Again, Kykar is my favorite card in Magic right now, so I'm really excited whenever it works out. And guys, if you play this game but you haven't tried Historic yet, try it out. It is a lot of fun. I'm hoping to get more people playing it because there are some really fun combos. And because there's nothing on the line, no rankings, no quest wins that you're trying to get, it's purely fun. And if you don't know how to make a Historic deck, all you do is go in here, select format, Historic. And then if you play this deck in play mode, you'll automatically enter the Historic queue. So try it out, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed some more Magic gameplay from me today. I love playing this game for you guys, and I hope you like watching it as well. So that's going to be it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.